Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. I'm Sanjay Gupta. I welcome you back on Scale Horizon YouTube channel. And we are having one more episode of ServiceNow Development Bootcamp. And I have Kunal with me for the same. So, welcome back, Kunal, on the channel one more
Thank you,
time.
Sanjay.
So we planned this session on Tuesday, but due to some reasons, we didn't do on Tuesday. So that's why we are having this session today. So we will be continuing whatever we have discussed so far. I think two sessions we have done so far, and
True.
yeah, in this session, a few more things related to Salesforce, sorry, ServiceNow development you will be learning because
Mm.
I am taking lots of sessions on Salesforce, so it is on the brain every time. Yeah, so this is ServiceNow, and you will be able to compare if you know Salesforce already. So because before starting the session, I was also discussing with Kunal like how to write triggers and all in this ServiceNow. So a little bit idea I got to know, but I think if you go through this session, you will be able to compare like how we write triggers in Salesforce and how those things are differently implemented with the help of JavaScript in ServiceNow. Okay,
That's true.
so yep, I think we can deep dive into those features. So over to you, Kunal.
Thanks, Sanjay. So last time we discussed client scripts. We were working on a client script. If I'm not wrong, we had made this client script. I'll just recap what we did and we'll start from there. So we have a form that is project proposal. And on this, we have a condition. For example, on change of budget field, we had a requirement. If the budget is over 100,000, I want to make sure that executive app required checkboxes checked automatically. And that is what we did. So the moment I increase my budget to 250,000, the moment I come out of this field, this becomes checked automatically. And how did we do that? We created a new client script, which will run on all UI types. The type of client script is on change, and the field on which it is based is budget. And we wrote a script where we said extract numerical value from the new value. New value is something that we are given when this function runs. And if it is more than 100,000, we use gform class and set the value of this field to true. Simple. Now, today we will create another client script because I want to cover two classes. One is glide form class that we already covered, and another is glide user class. And glide user class, let me open the documentation, is this one. Glide user class refers to client script on the client side, and you can access it using g underscore user, and it has all these functions available. First name, last name, user ID, username. We will use get full name, but these are the functions that are available on this class. And this class primarily deals with the person who is logged in, who is actually using the system right now. So what we will do is on this task, we will create another client script. We will welcome the user and it will be on load because this needs to run only once, right? And we will say variable current user name is equal to g underscore user get full name. That's it. And now we will add info message. Now remember, we got the username from g underscore user class, but we are adding a message to the form. So we will use g form class. Welcome to the form. And then we add current user. This should be good enough. We'll save this. We will browser and we open a form. And the moment we log in, it says, welcome to the form system administrator. That is my name, system administrator. Now, there's one thing that I actually want to show you guys, which is something which people should not be doing, and that is isolate script. Now, normally, maybe Salesforce, maybe ServiceNow, they don't want you to manipulate the screen DOM, document object model on the, for example, if I were to write variable input is equal to document dot get element by ID, right? These kind of uh, functions, this kind of functionality is highly discouraged in ServiceNow because ServiceNow wants you to use out-of-box functionality, but you can use it. You have to just remove this checkbox, isolate script, and then you will be able to use it. But I repeat, do not use it. It is a technical debt which will always come and bite you in the ass later. So yeah, you can do it, but don't do it. All right. So we have covered client script. We have covered glide form and glide user classes. We have done on load and on change. On submit will run when someone submits the form, and on cell edit runs when you edit the values on list view. We won't go into details because they are just different type of client scripts. Now we come to script includes. What are script includes? Imagine if you are working in a C project or any other language, you don't put all your function in a single file. You create libraries, right? For example, in C, the first language, right, is include stdio.h, and script includes is that libraries. So we type script includes in system definition, control click to open a new tab, and you would find that there are 4,574 script includes already in your instance. And that shows that ServiceNow is very keen on using script includes, and it is highly recommended. Even for smaller script, they recommend that you move the functionality to script includes so that it's easy to manage. All your functionality, all your, if you remember the MVC model, view and controller part should always be inside the script includes. Right. Now, there are two types of client script includes. One is client callable and one is server side. What does that mean? Client callable script includes a script includes that can be called upon from browser from the client scripting, and server side, as the name suggests, will only run on the server side. Now, for our purpose, we will create a new script include client callable, and we will create a client script on this field, parent. And what we want to see is that if I select a parent field, I want to see its priority. Task 21321 is same table as this one, and it should have a priority 4 low. I want to show it here. Okay. I have done something similar, and I'll show you how it would look like. So if I select assign to, it shows me the user's email address. And I'll show you how it works. So we'll open the console and we will go to network and we'll change this. Right now we'll change Anthony always. And if you see, there was a call made. Okay, we need to zoom in to understand this, right? Can I zoom in here? Yes, we can. Right, so this call was done to this script include, and the function that we called was get current email. We passed the user ID of this user, and in response, we got answer is equal to anthony.aldi@example.com, right? So this is an AJAX call in HTML terms, And in ServiceNow terms, it was just a client callable script includes. Right. So let's create a new client callable script includes. The moment you create a new script include, it will give you just put in the name. What we wanted to do was priority, project, proposal, parent, priority. Okay. Now, if you see, this is slide Ajax enabled. If I click this, it changes the class that has been created. Now, in any language, you will see we are extending this class, abstract Ajax processor. We are extending that class, and now we have a new class. Some functionality is baked in. We will just declare new functions for this. Right. Now we want parent priority is a function, and we will return some values. For now, we will just put in low to understand how it works, and then we will try and put in the functionality where we gather the value, right? That's good. We will just, uh, we need to create an role for this, and this is important actually. So because this is a client callable script, we need to make sure that only people who should have access to script include are calling this. So we will choose the basic that we had, yeah, staff lead user. And this would create an ACL for this, where you need to have this role to be able to call the script. Client callable script include, name of the script is this, and you need to have at least this role to be able to call the script. Cool, done. Now we will create a new client script. Parent this in the field, and now we write. We are going to use a new class, and that is it get parent priority. So new, sorry, light edges. You forget light edges, and we need to put in the name of this, and this is the whole name. The name is project proposal parent priority, and namespace, that is name of our application, are together mixed to create the name of this API, and we will put that here. This will now be connected to the scripting. Now we need to tell it what exactly are we trying to do. So we will add some parameters to this Ajax call. All parameters need to start with sys underscore palm, oh sorry, sys palm underscore something. Sys palm is essentially system parameters, and sys palm underscore name is the name of the function that we are calling. If you remember, our function name is get parent priority. We'll do that. Then, and we will simply call this function get XML answer. Get XML answer is a function that will make the Ajax call, get your answer, and provide you the answer in form of an object. Now, because Ajax call are asynchronous, we will provide a callback function, which means once service now has made the call to server, has gotten the values, it will call the function that we specify now. So we will say process result. And next step would be create that function. And we will console log answer to see how does it look like, right? We will save this, create a new record of project proposal, select a parent. Now we should open the console log first. The answer is low. That is the answer we got, right? I'll show it again. So I'll clear this out and we will change the parent. Something like that, yeah, 253. And the moment I change, we made a call to server, we got the value low. That is low because we have hard coded that value. But we want the value that relates to this. So we will add another parameter, get parent priority, add parameter sys palm underscore parent, and that will be the new value of this field. Okay, we'll save this and we'll go back to scripting and we'll remove this. We will now get that value. So that is parent sys id equals. Remember, we extended abstract Ajax processor. So we have some functions which are available. For example, to get the values, what we get is, let me remember what was the function. Yeah, get parameter. And we will put in name syspam underscore parent. If I'm not wrong, that was what we put in, right? Syspam parent, yeah. So we now have that value and this field, and we will now project proposal gr new glide record. This is the class that we use to work with DB operations. Now, if you see what I did was I need the name of this table. I could have gone into table records, but I know that is available in the URL. So I just copied the name from here and go here. And now we will try to get the record. Those who remember from a previous session, whenever you need to get a record, and if you have the GUID, or as it is called in ServiceNow SysID, you can use this function. And remember, all functionality, all API reference is available on this. For example, we are using glide record. I'll go to server scope and glide record. And here's all functions that are available on this class can be viewed here. This is the get object. Now it says 2 parameters, but if you provide 1 parameter, it will assume that you're talking about the GUID. Now, if we get the record, we will simply return its priority. And we will return the display value, because if you guys remember, priority, the value is 4, but the string is low. So if you have SNUtils installed, you can double click on priority or any other field, and it will show you the values that are available. Is this visible, Sanjay? Do you see this pop-up? Okay, so the value is 4, and the display value will be 4-low. So what we want to see is that display value, and that is what we will return. And if we don't get anything else, return, we will just return 404 to indicate that we did not find the record. There's something entirely option, but yeah. Let's do this. And now One thing is that because we made the changes to a server-side script, we don't actually need to reload this page. Why? Because it will still call the same function on the server, and that has changed. So that should not be an issue. We have 253, let's 321, and it says 404, which is wrong. So let us see what happened there. Request was parent priority, and okay, yeah, we need to reload page because we also changed the client script. Whenever you're trying to fill in a reference field, you can use a double star, double asterisk to show you all available options, right? So I'll give this, and the response should now contain 4-low, and that is what has been put into 4-low. Now we will modify our client script to actually show this as a right. So add what is the name of the function? I keep remembering. Yeah, show field message. Right, show field message, and now we need to put in what is the string. So that would be priority, and what we have as an answer, and the field name. Sorry, show field message should be right. That the first parameter is actually the name of the field, and name of the field is parent. Okay, that's it. Let us see if this works as we wanted to reload the page. Doesn't matter, don't save it. And the moment we select a task, it will show us the priority. Let's make sure that it is working correctly. We will remember whenever there is a reference field, this icon, preview icon opens, and you can control click open record to open the new field, new tab, and we will change the priority to critical, and then change value to some other thing that is low and go back to previous, and it shows us priority 1 critical. So it is working as we would expect it to. Let us recap what we did. For this, we wrote a new client script that on changes of this field that is parent, we make Ajax call, that is our fetch in new terms, to our script include that is on our server side. And we pass two parameters. The first parameter is the name of the function, and second parameter is the value that we're trying to pass. Then we call the function get XML answer, which then takes a callback function. We declared a callback function where we receive the answer, and we use gform class to show a field message on this field with this text. On the server side, we created a new script include. We made sure that this is client Ajax enabled, which means this can be called from the client side. We created a new function for this that was get parent priority. And then we got the parent sys using the function get parameter. And then we went in and opened the table. We got the record and we returned the display value of the priority. So this way we created an reactive functionality on the form side. This way we have covered script include, that is client callable. Now we'll move on to a different kind of script include, that is on the server side. To display that, we will come to what Sanjay was recently talking about, triggers as in ServiceNow, in Salesforce, right? So triggers are transferred to ServiceNow in forms of business rules. We right click, configure business tools. Now, if you see it, because we extended our table from task, all the business tools that are applicable on task are also applicable on our table. But right now, we are only concerned with business tools that are on our table. Now, if you remember, when you're on list view, you can actually right click on this and filter out, which means don't show me the values, don't show me the rows where table is task, and there are none. So we will create a new business tool. Right. We'll start with a very basic business tool, and sorry, and in the next step, we will create something bit more advanced. For
For
now,
now,
we
we
will
will
say
say
show insert message.
So
Right.
just to compare, this
Mhm.
business rule is similar to triggers that we have in Salesforce,
Exactly.
exactly.
right?
So
So
we'll
we'll
create
create
two
two
triggers.
triggers.
One
One
is
is
basic
basic
that
that
will
will
run
run
whenever
whenever
someone
someone
inserts
inserts
a
a
record. The moment you insert a record, we will create a pop-up on the screen saying that your message, your record was created. All right. So what we've done is the name is show insert message. It runs on insert. That is easy enough. And actions is we will add a message. Your record was created. And that is it. And we will go to project proposals, create a new record, testing BR, that is business rule, insert message, and save. Your record was created. It will be shown to the person who initiated this transaction. Now, let's do something a bit more complicated because this is not something that we were looking for. ServiceNow has a very good functionality that is insert and stay, which means I can copy all the details that are available on this form and create a new record of it. So what I'll do is I'll insert and stay. And once we have this new business rule, we'll just change the details. Okay. I want to prevent creation of record with short description contains example. Contain example. So we go here and we will say short description contains example. We will say record was created because you put example to example in short description. And we will say abort action, which means don't continue with this functionality. Don't let this DB transaction complete. So what we're trying to do is we created a new business rule where we don't want user to create a new record if their short description contains a string example. We are putting on insert the short, and the filter condition for this is short description contains example. The action is show a message saying your record was not created and about the action. So we will save this and we will create a new function. So if I were to put in name of the table and just put in .do, it will open up a form for the new record. And short description, I will put an example and try to save it. Invalid insert, your record was not created because you put in short description. Now this also showed up, and that is a lesson here that this should not have run, but yeah, we will figure that out later. But the answer is this did not create this record. If I were to go and see project proposals, there is none which contains example. That record was not created. All right, we will create yet another business rule, one where we actually will script something. So we will make this business rule as active false, which means this message will now not show up. Give me a second. So one thing why did we not do class on Tuesday is that I have a bit of a program. Okay, so we will create a new business rule and we will use advanced here. When you click on advanced, there are a few changes that happen. Before, you just had option of insert and update, and that was it. But now, when you click on advanced, you now have option to decide when would this business rule be triggered. Does it happen before the record is created? Does it happen after the record is created? Does it happen asynchronous? Asynchronous is essentially after business rule, but ServiceNow will not guarantee when this will run. It will run whenever the next node, execution node is available, which means whenever the cycle of functions in the background ends, the next function, this will run. So yeah, there is a event table in ServiceNow where you can say, okay, whenever you have time, do this. So asynchronous, essentially that whenever you get time, do this. And why is it important is because whenever you try to save a record, ServiceNow will run all the business rules and then progress. But if you're trying to make an API call to a different server or you're trying to send an email, you don't want user to wait for that to happen. You just move ahead and continue the functionality in the background. All right. So let us understand what we're trying to create here. And I had done something where a scenario. Yeah, right. So what we're trying to do is that we want to calculate total budget of the current year and update all project proposals with the new value. For now, we will skip the current year part. And what we will do is that on creation of a new record, we will update all records with total of budget of all records. What I mean to say is that do we have, okay, we will add that to work, or let's create a new field for this. Let's use form design for creating a new field. Right, so we will create a new field. We will just use string function, string type, and we will put it below here. And what we will call it, string is budget for all proposals. Due underscore proposal total. And default value will be 0. And that's it. So we will save this. We should actually make this as read only because we don't want people to touch that. Right? So make it read only and save it. Let's reload this page, reload this form. And now we have project for our proposals. Right. So we will now create a business rule, and that will be accumulate budget for all proposals. Right. This will run on insert and update and after. So this should run whenever there's a new record created or previous record is updated. We will run this. I will show two ways of doing this thing. And that's it. So variable proposals tr is equal to new glide path, and the name of the table, sorry, Name of the table. Again, see, if you have SMU2 installed, you can actually click on table, double click, and it will show you all the options that are available for this field. That is each and every table that is on this instance and gives you the current value. So I'll just copy it from here and proposal dot query. We are not putting any filters because we want to add all values. And once we have it, we will run through the values. I'll come, how does this work? But let's do it first. Uh, variable total is equal to 0, right? And we will do is, yeah, total equals total plus proposal gr dot get value. What's the field name? Field name is u underscore budget. Okay, so u underscore budget. Okay, so now we have it. And then once we're done with the loop, we will put in the current dot. What was the name of the new field that we created? View proposal. I did spell it wrong, but we'll continue. Total, and we will update the current record. Right. Now, there is a catch here. Remember what we've done is that this business rule will run every time this record is updated. And we are updating this record in this business rule. That would create an infinite loop, right? So what we will do is we will set current dot set workflow false, which means it will not run any business rule for this transaction. There's an error here. I'm aware of it. We'll come to it, but we'll save this. All right, so we come to this and we will reload the page. And we will hit 200, 2000, save. And if you see, it did. But if you remember, we had this issue even with another client script because the value saved here is in this form USD to comma 1000. So we need to get out the value, the integer value from this. And I think we did write a function for it. We'll just copy that function. This one. This is the function. A good thing about ServiceNow is because we run JavaScript on server side and where is that? And client side, we can actually use the same functions. Right, so now we will use this totals with the total plus. And let's try again. We will run this proposal. Let's make it 200. And it became 0, which is again wrong. Now that's a good opportunity to understand what went wrong. So what we will do is we will set some login here. So on each loop, we will use GS, that is glide system, dot info, set an info log with total plus total. Actually, we will also put this file. So where's it? Close it. Okay. We save this, and where do you find our logs? We click on all. We say system logs, and we go to all logs. Again, control click, and we have each and every log that is now on the system, on this instance. So we will go here and update the value again, 2000, save, value did not change. We'll see the logs. And if you see, the value that we're getting is the, and that is why the end goes on 0. So something is wrong here. Let's extend this to building extract value, get value. If I were to make this display value, will that change anything? Still null. Okay, so this thing input extract from it should. All right. So what is the value? Okay, let's see. Right, so we do get this value, but that function doesn't seem to be working. Value is split by. Okay, so yeah, it is not working because on the backend it's not giving the value that we should have gotten. Okay, what we will do is we will just remove dollar and comma from the value. We will just change this and we will write return input to replace. That is the function, right? MD and replace. Another thing that I really want people to understand is that whenever you're looking up JavaScript documentation, the best place to is MDN. MDN is Mozilla Developers Network. It is way better. It has best documentation available. It will also tell you that whether the function is available on which browsers, and Mozilla itself is a non-profit, so you don't expect them to lead you to a wrong place. For example, I wanted to see how replace works, so it will show you that this is how it should work. So let's go there, and we will replace our dollar with empty, and then again replace what was the another thing that we need to do? Comma, right? So we also need to with nothing. Right. So this way we should have that answer. So, and you got, but again, what it did was 0, 0, and 200 it added, which is again wrong. So we will convert this to value. And oh yes, because we did not convert this to number. I don't script these lectures, so yeah, sometimes, but I think this is better because this is how it should be. Okay, so now we have the answer. It is 2000.0. Now what we will do is we will go to project proposal and we will add the budget field here and budget proposal comes here. So what we're trying to do is because we in ServiceNow can actually edit the values directly from list view. So we'll do that. Okay. So we will again doesn't allow to change. So we will make this 500 and save this. Now it is 2500. And if we were to go to the list view, this is 2500, this is 2000, but it did not change the values of all the records. Now we just updated the current records value, but I want to change the values of all the proposals. And how will I do that? Okay. So what we did was we did current, that is just the current uh, field, right? But we also have this record which is running on this table, right? So what I'll do is actually, so what we will do is proposal gr. Let's create a new glide record. Updated proposal gr is equal to new glide record. Let's copy this in here. Right. Now, if you see, we have not queried anything here, right? What we will do is we will simply say set value of what was the name of that field? Proposal total, right? Yeah, that was it. And we'll set it to total. And we don't want any set workflows to fall run on this. So we will set as false and update proposal, update multiple. So now each and every record that is available on this glide record clause will be updated instantly, right? So we'll save this. And let's go here, open this in a new tab, and let's make it 1500,000. Now this is 1500, that is expected. But what about others? So we will reload this list, refresh list, and each and every record has this value. So if you remember, on this glide record class, there are two functions that can actually make multiple changes. That is update multiple. And there's another one, bit riskier, but yeah, delete multiple. So these two functions can actually help you with multiple changes to the DB. So what we have covered now is that we have created a new business rule and we have updated values when there's a change in our current record. These scripts run on the server side and client scripts run on the client side. I think what I wanted to cover more things, but we kind of run out of time. What the next would be UI actions, and I'll just give you a hint what it is. So these functions, these buttons, update, delete, these are UI functions. And on our table, we have discussed follow, update, and delete. We will create a new function and we will put the button here. And these are called UI actions. UI actions are server-side scripts. And we will cover that in the next session on Tuesday.
Okay, so I think it was quite interesting. I was able to relate things like if anybody who worked on Salesforce, so they will be able to relate, and if those are new to this CRM, so they will also understand because lots of things are controlled with the help of UI only, right? And I think here the only thing as part of the development we need to learn about JavaScript.
That's actually a very good thing, right? Because you don't actually have to learn multiple languages. And since JavaScript is relatively easy to understand compared to Java or any other type-safe languages, it becomes a lot easier. ServiceNow has moved to TypeScript, but for the most part, it's just JavaScript.
Yeah, I think that's why it is very simple because if we compare it with Salesforce, in Salesforce for backend we have Apex and for front end we need to write HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So
Right.
both we need to learn, and I know like when we train people, so they get confused because both have different syntaxes. So I think that challenge is not here with ServiceNow. So it will be comparatively easy. Those who are not having coding background, they can also get their hands dirty with ServiceNow, I guess.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Kunal, for sharing all the knowledge. And guys, those who are following all the sessions and you are thinking like how you can become job ready in ServiceNow. So we will be soon starting some online and offline batches for that. So you can do some concept based learning with us and do some hands on, because right now we are giving you the overview, but in the real sessions you will be having proper hands-ons so that you can implement those, you can do some projects, and then only like you will be becoming job ready so that you can crack some interviews. Okay. And we created a WhatsApp group as well for demo purpose. I have a Skill
Mhm.
Horizon WhatsApp community. So we started sharing a Excel sheet where we are tracking all the job opportunities. So as of now, we kept it open. So I think in the next session, I will be sharing that live as well. Okay, so
Okay.
that those who are like curious whether we have some job opportunities in ServiceNow ecosystem, so they can also go through.
Good.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Kunal, for sharing all
Thank
the
you,
knowledge.
guys.
And thank
See
you,
you next
guys.
time.
Yep.
All right. Bye bye.
See you next week. Bye, everyone.